Hi everyone, it's Alessia with Wick Digital here. Today we're going to be talking about how to create a curated newsletter from the email template that we've created for you on Second Street. It's very simple, and ultimately this is how we want to move forward with, is having a personal touch for each of the newsroom departments on our daily headlines. So what we're going to do first is go into Second Street, and really the simplest URL to get to Second Street is partners@secondstreet.com. Once I give you access, you're going to see the sites that you have access to in front of you. Ultimately, you'll notice, because these are also numbers of people that have signed up or registered for our contest. So email and contests are going to be on the same platform, but they're separated by section here. So once you go into Second Street here, I'm going to go into the Green Valley News here to give you the demo from here. So you click on Green Valley News or your newspaper site. In front of you, it gives you a kind of summary of everything that we have done. Things are separated by contests, interactive content, which is ultimately, it's like photo contests, or we do best of events, that those are separated this way. Email are the ones where you'll do your created newsletters, and then audience insights that you'll see our daily list plus, again, registrations and logins from people that participated in contests and such. So from here, really all you need to do is go to email. So if you click on email, you'll notice some emails that we put together for the contest. We do a lot of these so people know that we have a contest going. So it sends out an invitation saying, hey, user that has participated in a contest before, come check this contest out. Plus that, we have our curated newsletters. What I'll do is create basically like a template in here, and ultimately all you have to do moving forward is simply click on the right and make a copy of that. This way you don't ever have to use the template. You can see what you've used last and go from there. You can click on what was sent. So you'll notice if I go back here on the sent, if you can see how many emails we sent it to. But you can also click on it and you can see a summary of that email and what people have opened, what clicks. And the great thing is, it also tells you bounces and soft bounces, and this is something that eventually will decrease. You can see if anybody else unsubscribed from the list. Top domains, so what .coms or Gmails and things like that we sent it to. Gives you a breakdown, platform breakdown. But this is pretty neat. It gives you a map of the location where the emails live. So you can see that. So it gives you definitely gives you more data here, and gender and age. So that's really on when your email is sent, you can see data that way. But if I go back here, go back to the main screen on the email, I can simply say copy. And now it takes you into the email that I want to create. So for this one, I'm going to just say, I'm going to follow in the newsroom subject line that Dan has here, but I'm going to say template again, so we know we don't mistake that. For opt-out and reporting purposes, what category is this message? We always put news. It is a news. We're not want to tag people who open this message, so basically it's behavior. So you can say who's interested in news, who's interested in people in society, things like that, and it kind of segments the list, but we haven't tackled that yet. So you can just don't worry about that for now. Then you say save, and it takes you to the platform. Of course, you notice it's just the one that Dan sent today. But from here, there's steps to the right, and it's pretty simple. So it gives you, first, it gives you a version A, version B. So for example, if you want to do an A/B testing, So the system will know, basically, if you want to change something on the version B to see how it does compared to version A, you can do that. But again, we haven't tackled that yet. But ultimately, to get started, you'll start with version A. Now, the easy part of this is that we have the layout is basically very nice and clean. We have the logo up here, and this is the template that we put together. We have a curated brief, and this is where the newsroom has the advantage of make it nice and personalized for the reader. Dan put in a sunset photo there. There's definitely something you can do there. This is all one box, so you can add images, and if you click on it, to the right, it kind of gives you the editing box. And it's pretty simple. You ultimately what we want to stick with is an 18-point font. It's good readability. Again, it's 18-point font. By default, it will stay like that, but if you copy and paste, it will default to the styles that you paste in with, so you want to make sure you remove that. So you can, what I suggest doing is, if you're writing outside Microsoft Doc, always keep it Arial, always keep it 18 points, or just start writing in here and not paste anything in there. Everything in here is pretty simple, basic. You know, here you have your generic or your general styles, just like Microsoft Word. You can do bold and things like that. There is some formatting, so if you want to use these types of format, like if you highlight everything and put normal text, it ultimately will default it to what I have, which is the 18-point Arial. We don't want to use crazy fonts because fonts that might not be in on everybody's computer, so this information could come to them in a weird font or weird symbols. So let's avoid that. So always keep it Arial 18-point. You can put links in here. So ultimately, you just highlight something, and then there's your link. Insert your link, and put it in there. Insert it, and now you have a hyperlink. I noticed that it does keep it blue on the edited box, but make sure that it does show up blue on the actual newsletter preview here to the left. And you simply just do that. So you click on your highlight, insert a link, find your link. So I'll just go to GB News here. And I'll click on this one. Copy, paste it in there, insert it, and you notice that it made it blue here, but it didn't made it blue here, so you can simply go to font color, and we are using blues. It's a very standard link color for newsletters. Again, we're trying to keep the layout simple. Click on that, and now it turns blue. Okay, you can add images just like this, and basically make sure you put your cursor where you want it to. What I would suggest you do first is write out the text and then add images to it, because if let's pull this out so I can add it in here. So I'll remove this, and then I can say I actually want it in here. I'll put my cursor there, go to images, insert, desktop, there's my image, I put it in there and insert it. What it does pull it to a full width, but you can go in here, click on it once, you can edit it, and you can say I want to position it left. When you do that and make it smaller, because right now it's full width, it's just full width, you can make it smaller, and what it does, it kind of puts it on the part of the layout itself. It puts it within the text, so it wraps it around the image. There we go. If you want to put some space up here, you can put it under enter, so it looks nicer. But ultimately, again, the left is what your customer is going, or your reader is going to be able to see. So if you don't want something in there, make sure you change it. So, and then after you're done with your brief here, you say done. This right here is a default box. You don't ever have to touch that. That's part of the template as well as the logo, so you don't have to ever do anything with that. And of course, the view web version, you don't have to do anything with that. What we did add is latest headlines that gives you the ability to control and assign what articles you want a customer to see or a reader to see on a daily basis. And then the footer and the socials are exactly part of the default, so you never have to really touch them. So from here, you'll notice here to the right, and if you could go down the list here. First it says import articles. Now, when you click on that, it's going to give you an RSS feed it wants, and that's something we can provide to you. And essentially, and let me find mine here. All right, let me see here. Sorry, 1 second. All right. So if I pick up this and put in here, I need to make sure that it's gbnews.com. It's always your domain. The rest of the information is the RSS. And just so you know, the RSS that we've created says ignore e-editions, ignore national section, give me the latest 100 articles in a 168-hour period. That's all this tells me. So if I click on this, you can see it's kind of like a layout, and this is what an RSS feed looks like. But if you copy that and you go back to Second Street and you paste it in there, what it does, it loads the articles for you. And this is the easiest part of one reason why we went to Second Street is because the ability to do this, so you don't have to actually create a layout. The layout's already there. You just pick and choose what articles to place in here. So I'm going to click on some of these articles and I'm going to import them in. You notice it automatically changed for you. Fantastic. That's all you have to do. Now, if I click on some of these, you'll notice actually here on the right it changes. There's item 1. If I click on this, it says item 2, item 3. So by default, that's the default, and this is the default layout that we do have. For example, if you want an article outside your domain or newspaper, I could click on here, and this is where you can make your edits. So be like, actually, I want an outside link to be part of this. So I can go to wherever I find that link. If I go to New York Times, and I'm going to choose, let's just choose this article here. I'm going to copy this and go back to Second Street. There's my link. What is the name of the article? Oh, let's get out of here. Why? Stop it. Okay. Isn't that annoying? Hold on. Okay, let's just do. There's your title. You can place that in there. Does it have an image? If it doesn't have an image, you can, on the right there's a toggle on and off. You can turn that off if you don't want that in there. Your description is right there. Whatever you need to add in there. You can also even type in here. This is where description goes. Button. It's the same default as the others, so you could keep that in there, but ultimately you have to change the URL, of course. If I go back to this one, push it over here. And now you've created an outside link. Now, let's say you want more than 3 articles. To the right here, there is your items. You can definitely add another item, and there it is. It follows the latest, the third item, since it's the latest one that you created. So if you do want an image in there, you can totally do that, and that's your default. Now be careful, because if you do not want this in here, you need to remove it here, because if not, the customer or the reader will see this. So again, this is the live view of the actual newsletter. Okay, so if you do want to remove it, you can do so right there. So import articles is where your RSS goes, and I'll send it out to everybody, so everybody has their own for their newspaper. And then you basically go down the list. on the templates, if you do create one from scratch instead of copying from the beginning, I'm going to have everyone have their own named template. So in this case, this is gvnews.com curated newsletter. This is what you'll use. So you will have one for capjournal.com curated newsletter, EA Courier curated newsletter, and so on and so on. So that's what we want to move forward with. Front and subject. It's always, we do keep it at Webmaster. We do have a footer here that you can email the editor for particular questions. But if I go back to the subject line, the from, the subject and pre-header is where you make your modifications. So in this case, what's the main subject line of this newsletter in the newsroom, let's say. And then, write a catchy subject line that allows people to makes people want to open it. So, I don't know, check out the police chase. Not the best writer, but that will make it work for this example. And then pre-header. So pre-header, you can always keep this as a default from what you've used before. So in this case, for Dan's newsletter, he uses this one. Sorry, let me find it here. Okay. He uses Noble Stories, how we got them, and what's coming next. So that's your pre-header. So I'm going to say done. So you do your subject line. Color stays the same. You don't touch those items or these down here. Header and body. So there's your site logo. It basically gives you the layout here. So we always want to keep this as the site. Subscription offer. There's your curated brief option here. There's your logo. Latest headlines, and then the footer here. So those are things that we added to the template. On the social footer, just always make sure that it's going to your site. So just follow the steps. Make sure, yes, this is where I want these are my social links. And then from there, you go from there you say test, put in your email, and send it to yourself. See how that looks. So it doesn't take very long to send to yourself. So once you do that and you get it, once it arrives in my email, then you say done. I looked at it, make sure I clicked on all these links, and there's no issues there. Then I go to the next step, which is recipients. In here, you'll have a list of all your daily headline lists, which are these customers are the ones that are wanting your daily newsletter. So by clicking here, you'll see a bunch of these, and that's because these are ones from contests, but ultimately the ones you are going to be using is the daily headline list. So I have that one, and then I also have one for Saudita Sun here, since they use the same platform, but ultimately, this is where your list will appear. You click on it, say done, and then you have this option for Delivery Boost to boost deliverability by automatically filter out addresses that have not opened in any emails in the past 9 months. Up to you. It doesn't make sense to send it to somebody if they haven't opened their email in 9 months. So, and next part is if you want to share this email with somebody outside your list, you can do so. In this case, I did with Francis and Sean and Dan and all the editors, so they can see this for our first one, but you have the option to add somebody else in here and add him here. From there, you say continue. You have ability to send it right away once the message is confirmed, or schedule it. Pretty simple to schedule. Click here, say what time, all right, maybe Saturday, okay, and then once you press continue, it is going to schedule it. Or if you click on this one, it's going to take a couple minutes and then it will send it out. There's your AB version if you want to do AB testing, but for now we can just stick with the version A option. But from there you say continue and you are done. In this case I won't do that here, but I'll schedule this because I'm not sending this out. But here are your 4 steps. So you can go back to it if you want. You can go from schedule to recipient, back and forth to do your thing. That is pretty much it, guys. If you do have any questions, let me know. Again, we want to go nice and clean version, so when you're in here and you're typing away, just go ahead and copy the whole thing and make sure that it's an 18-point font, that it's a black text, so it follows consistency throughout the page. Anyhow, that's basically it. So I'll go ahead and I'm actually excited for us to get started with this. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.